Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast update for the southern U.S. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, the satellite picture here first thing on Tuesday morning, a couple things to point out. We've got flow coming up and over the top of our big western U.S. ridge. We've got departing storm system here across the Atlantic with cold air coming in behind that. We've seen some of that colder air spreading in across parts of the southeast over the last several days, and associated with that, we've got some low clouds kind of trying to make their way from the Ohio River Valley down into portions of the southeast. So maybe some cloud cover across portions of the Carolinas down into the northern portions of the southeastern U.S. states, but a lot of sunshine as you make your way back off toward the west. And this high pressure, this clear air is going to be making its way into the majority of the south as we head through the end of the work week. What's looking like a dry finish to the work week before we bring a storm system in over the weekend. Now, with clear skies across the west and then clearing skies as you make your way off toward the east, nothing going on as far as precipitation goes here on Tuesday morning. And again, we're going to keep reliably dry weather in the forecast for the next 3 to 4 days, depending on how far off to the west you head. Portions of Texas and Oklahoma are going to start seeing some of that precipitation emerge on Friday. Now, as we look at temperatures here, again, really remarkably uniform temperature spread here, all the way from the Dakotas down toward the southeastern U.S. We're talking about 20s and 30s across almost the entire interior U.S. here on Tuesday morning. So cooler temps off to the southeast, warmer air associated with that ridge off to the west starting to move in. So here's the hazards map on the left. We're pretty quiet here. We've got dense fog advisories across portions of Minnesota, Iowa, and into Missouri. And then we've also got frost advisory across portions of southern Georgia down into northern Florida. Again, a lot of this cold air, or a lot of cold air, I should say, making its way well to the south associated with that cold front. But then as you look at the surface map that I'm drawing on the right side there, here's the frontal boundary that's separating the air masses here. So warmer air associated with this area of high pressure trying to make its way in across the west from west to east. And it's along that dividing line here where we're having some of the issues with fog and some of the lower level clouds. Now here's the next week of forecast precipitation. You can see the weekend storm system and the impact from that with upwards of half an inch or more expected across portions of eastern Oklahoma, eastern Texas, right up to the Ohio River Valley through portions of northern Mississippi, and northern Alabama with lighter precipitation amounts surrounding that. We'll talk about what actually is driving this in just a moment. That'll be the main focal point of this forecast video. Now, the high-resolution NAM model, that shows us our dry work week. This will take us all the way into Thursday afternoon. We're keeping things dry here across the southern U.S. A little bit of very light snow possible across the upper Midwest, the Dakotas, and then the organizing storm system here late Thursday, bringing some rain and some snow to portions of Arizona and New Mexico by the time we get to Thursday afternoon. So once again, this is Tuesday. This is now Tuesday night. This is Wednesday night. This is now Thursday. Now here's the total snowfall forecast. Again, a little bit of light accumulation expected here across portions of New Mexico as we get going into the day on Thursday into Thursday night, but that is just about it. Now here's the upper level jet stream pattern, 500 millibars here on Tuesday morning. Again, broad flow up and over the top of our western U.S. ridge, down around the base of our trough that's now departing across the Atlantic. And so, again, on the backside of that trough, we did bring in a lot of cold air into portions of the southeast, but we're starting to warm up now as this ridge begins to move in from the west. So here's the pattern then as we head into the weekend. I want to draw your attention to the big cutoff low here spinning away off Baja, California. That's going to slowly start to migrate to the east before being picked up by an off-screen trough across the Pacific. Here's what happens then as we head into Wednesday. Now Thursday, that system's starting to spread off to the east. This is how we end up getting some of that light rain, some of the snow across portions of Arizona and New Mexico on Thursday afternoon. Now the main off-screen trough, that one starts emerging. You see these very strong jet stream winds rounding the base of the trough as we get into Friday and Saturday. And that's what helps wind this up into a more well-defined storm system across the midsection of the country. Very strong upper-level support, southwesterly flow that's going to be tapping into the Gulf of Mexico. And that's going to help us organize, again, focused precipitation across portions of the south as we head into the weekend. So let's look at it. Let's look at the let's look at the operational European model. I've got too many model names floating around in my head this morning. Again, dry and quiet as we head through the end of the week. This is Wednesday afternoon now, getting into Thursday. Flow going up and over the top of the ridge. We are quiet in the south until we get late week. This is now Friday midday. We're starting to get some of the rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder across eastern Oklahoma down into eastern Texas as the storm system begins to organize. And then as we get into Saturday morning, now we've got a well-defined, well-developed storm system. The area of low pressure somewhere around St. Louis as we get to Saturday morning. So that's going to have warm air advection drawing moisture northward from the Gulf of Mexico. Heavy rain, maybe a few thunderstorms then along and south of that area of low pressure, all the way from central Illinois down to the Gulf Coast, moving from west to east across the region. Now, the good news is this is a progressive pattern, meaning that this storm system is going to quickly move from southwest to northeast and lift out of the region rather than kind of setting up a situation where we got a frontal boundary, stalled across the region and we're just bringing Gulf moisture up and over the top of the system here. This is going to be a progressive system. We'll get some rain for a day before it moves on out of here. So this is now, let's take it one more time here. Friday night, Saturday sunrise, mid-afternoon Saturday, and this will be sunset on Saturday. We'll take it all the way to Sunday morning now as the sun comes up. Cold front becoming rather stretched out back toward the southwest now, so rain and thunder possible ahead of that across portions of southern Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia before this thing continues to kind of decay and move off to the east. So we should be bringing things to an end here as we get into Monday. It's kind of a Friday night through Sunday night, maybe into Monday event here. We'll have to watch another little wave coming around the base of that trough and potentially kind of focusing some heavier rain here as we get into Monday and Tuesday across the southeast, but I've got lower confidence in that particular evolution right there. So total forecast precipitation between now and Sunday, the European on the left, the GFS on the right. And here's where you can see a little bit of the differences here that the European model wants to take that second system on the backside here and take a little more focused rainfall in through the southeastern states, whereas the GFS kind of focusing things more the heavier precipitation across eastern Oklahoma, eastern Texas, into the Ozarks. This is kind of where I think maybe the better shot for the heavy soaking rains are going to be, but then we do have to kind of, we'll watch this area closely with some of our forecasts later on in the week. The area that I'm talking about here is the southeast U.S. here, portions of Georgia, South Carolina, northern Florida, the potential for a second round of heavy rain here as we get into Monday and Tuesday. Plenty of time to talk about that. Not talking about accumulating snow associated with this system across the southern U.S. We are watching that off to the north. Portions of the Corn Belt could see a little corridor of accumulating snow. The best chance for getting it over an inch of snow here, again, well off to the north of the southern U.S. Potential here, we could pick up a little light coating across portions of the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. That is about it, though. And when we flip it over and we talk about getting an excess of 6 inches, we're really shifting things north across portions of Nebraska, Iowa, into Wisconsin. Now we'll finish with a look at our temperature anomalies and what happens here. Now we're going to bring in this warmer air mass as we head into the mid and late part of the week. As the system across the southwest begins to eject across the region, we are going to see more cloud cover, more precipitation, and again, lower heights overall. So we will bring in slightly cooler temperatures to the south as we head through the weekend into early next week. But the reason for showing this, and I know Eric will talk a lot more about this during our long-range U.S. weather analysis tomorrow, is as we continue to look out deeper into winter, the end of December, beyond this weekend storm system, even into early January, we're really seeing our seasonal models continuing to hone in on a warmer bias across the midsection of the United States. So still searching for any sort of, turn toward a frigid pattern across either the Corn Belt or the southern United States, and just not seeing it at this point, as a lot of the seasonal models want to keep a lot of the cold air well off to the northwest across portions of Alaska and northwest Canada. So if that's going to be the case, we are likely looking at a mild winter across the central and southern United States. Now, of course, a little bit cooler off to the southeast today and tomorrow as those cooler temperatures continue to push off across the Atlantic, displaced by our warmer temperatures associated with that ridge spreading across the region. Here are your highs on Thursday. By the time we get to Friday, now cooler temps trying to nudge back in across the west. Here are your highs on Saturday as that storm system begins to organize across the region. We'll talk to you again tomorrow morning, again with our long-range U.S.-focused weather analysis, our ag forecast on Thursday, and then I'll have another look at the South on Friday morning.